Jordan.
Iain.
Who got a job interview, but lied on their CV, and as a result got mispositioned as Lord of the Dead.
Justin Timberlake?
No, two guys.
Oh, that was like sub-bass.
Yeah, man. Fucking Lord of the Dead.
Nice.
Hello, and welcome to episode 92 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where I don't like to call him it, but I have to, as he's my new boss. It's Lord of the Dead. Lord of the Dead, how are you?
I'm pissed off.
Oh, you sounded so dishevelled then, so beaten down.
I'm annoyed. Let me have my moment.
Do you want to tell the people what's going on?
Well, we're trying to record, and my mic keeps having weird interference, and I can't work it out. I've changed the XLR leads a few times. I even ended up getting a new interface.
Oh, really?
And that didn't really fix it. And then it must just be the microphone, but I've not had it particularly long, and I look after it.
Just quite funny, you just reminded me of something that my wife did recently.
Oh, God. She get a new mic and a new interface as well for her podcast.
Oh, God, no, man.
Two gals, what's up?
I would love to listen to that. Your wife and my wife get together, chat shit about
I'd
us.
be really scared to. Ignorance is bliss.
Absolutely, in this situation. But no, what she did was, so we have a Sky remote for our TV and Skybox, and the Sky people, when they fitted it, did something so that the Sky remote works for our TV as well.
Okay, I see.
But what has happened is the TV aspect of it has now stopped working. So my wife texted me the other day saying, I can't get the TV to turn on using the Sky remotes anymore. The TV's broken. And I was like, what? Why is the TV broken? She's like, because the Sky remote won't work. I was like, yeah, so the Sky remote's broken then.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's the TV. And I was like, no, because you're using the Sky remote to turn on the TV, but that's not working. The TV is working when you can get it on. So what on earth makes you think the TV's broken? She's like, none of your business.
Wow, that's harsh.
That was her response. So I think she was kind of thinking to herself, oh yeah, it's probably not the TV, it probably is the Sky remote, and just use that as a finisher to try and shut me up. But it just made me think of it because your microphone isn't working. You're like, I'll change the interface, I'll change the cable,
Yeah.
I'll change my Mac, I'll get a new computer.
I've moved house.
When it might just be as simple as getting a new microphone.
I do fancy an SM7B.
And now so do I, because I like to have the same microphone as you, because you know what you're talking about.
Well, apparently not, because this one's fucked.
There you go. Now you're getting it. Get a new one.
I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
And it makes editing massively difficult because, of course, anyone, even if you're not prone to using editing software, you know what audio waves look like, and someone would speak, and then there'd be moments of silence.
Yeah.
And then you can see visually, oh, they're speaking there, they're not speaking then.
Yes.
But however, mine is like a constant wiggly line because of just this interference.
Yeah, so it just looks like you're sat on the other side going, so what have you got coming up for us today?
Well, I was. I just cut it all out.
Well, then it's your own fault.
I've tried replacing me. No one wants a refund on that.
Well, that's why I came to adopt you into the fold.
Well, I'm pleased someone did. On a separate news, if anyone can even hear me at this point, because frankly, I don't know. So, my dad is, as maybe we all know, maybe a possible
Men in Black.
hand-in-hand working with Men in Black. Yeah, possibly. Who knows? But
Absolutely,
it's
yeah.
not being confirmed.
Oh, yes.
So, he is the most careful driver in the world. Almost too careful.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah, to the point where often he drives a little bit too slow, and I think, if I was behind you...
Speed up.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off. And I'm pretty calm. And so... hang on, all right, wait, let me just fill you in a little bit more. He isn't particularly great at driving a manual car, though.
Right.
So he often won't change the gear when he really should.
So like 8,000 revs, doing 20 mile an hour.
He's driven like, I don't know, 10 metres down the road in first gear.
Okay.
And it's like, brrr. I think maybe you should move.
Somehow we got up to 40 mile an hour.
And it's just bonkers. And you know how it says on some dashboards, like, to change gear up or down?
Yep.
And his is like fucking begging.
Flashing at him, screaming.
Anyway, so he's a very careful driver otherwise.
Okay.
Cautious driver, maybe I should say. Overly cautious. And anyway, me and my wife were pissing ourselves because apparently he got a speeding fine.
No way.
For the first time in his life. And he was debating whether to do the course or to take the points. And I just thought, well, you know, if he does a course, I mean, that's useful. But then is he just going to fucking stand still?
Yeah.
It's already slow.
Far too overcautious.
Except for that one moment. So the poor bugger has to make a decision.
Poor guy. And being a man in black and only ever getting his orders from above, it is obviously very hard to make your own decision. So he's probably like, boss, what should I do? It's like, I don't know, mate. Is this part of the mission? No. This is my personal life. It's like, well, do what you fucking want then. He's like, oh.
But you laugh. But actually, my dad drives a work car, so he didn't get the fine.
Oh.
It was like the company boss that had to ring him to say, I'm sorry.
Shit.
But, so maybe he was like, what do I do, boss? Quite literally.
What would you do in that situation? Would you go to the meeting kind of thing, the talk, what is it called?
The
Seminar? Presentation?
It's an awareness course, I guess.
That's the one, awareness course. Or would you take the points?
Seminar. Sounds grander than it is.
It's just a cover. That's where all the men in black meet.
I think I would probably do that and not take the 3 points.
Hell yeah. Don't want those on your licence, do you?
And also, apparently since COVID, it's pretty much always online too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You just have to have a webcam. So, like, you know, do it on your iPad or your phone or something.
I was going to say, so you click play on the seminar and go make a cup of tea.
Yeah, and then go drive. Accumulate 3 more points.
Go get a McDonald's.
Yeah, I think I would do that. Touch wood, I never will. I don't plan to. I've never had any points.
Yeah, same. Don't really want them. But yeah, touch wood. I have never had points. I've been driving, what's that?
Since you were 2, weren't you?
20 years. Yep.
I don't know how they didn't catch you, really. It's probably because your head didn't poke up far enough they thought it was an empty car.
Yeah, paranormal.
Although you were that tall.
I was, yeah.
You were through the sunroof.
Well, it's just a chest and some arms driving this car. How weird.
So anyway, I felt I should share that because it amused me.
Well, I'm glad your dad's life is a laughing matter for you.
Definitely. 100%.
Anyway, Jordan, me old pal, tell me, what have you got coming up for today in our episode of This for People?
Wow. It's like Scrabble.
I'm not working, apparently, this morning.
Yeah. That threw my train of thought then. Okay, so today I'm revisiting a topic that I believe I might have done for a bonus episode.
Oh.
Which is the Darwin Awards.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, I think that was about 3 bonus episodes ago, because there are 15 of them up there right now.
That's mental.
In it just.
That's over a year's worth.
It is. Fucking hell, yeah. And you could listen to a year's worth of bonus episodes for just £3 in 15 days.
Yeah. With more on the way.
More. Millions more.
Well, possibly not.
Nope,
I'm not sure I'll live that long.
We're going to be doing this until we're 100, Jordan.
That's scary. So, yeah, I'll be revisiting the Darwin Awards, basically stupidest deaths.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to present to you 10 more stupidest laughable deaths.
I was just curious. Did you perhaps put this in a bonus episode for a reason? Like, was it maybe not a little bit too dark, you know, for us to be sat here in our own comfortable little houses, pissing ourselves at people, offing themselves in the most stupidest of ways?
You know, they don't intend to do it.
Well, I think that's probably the worst part. You know, we're sat here like, this idiot fell off a train.
That's not necessarily a stupid death. That's more tragic.
Okay, right. My apologies. But the one that got eaten by a vat full of piranhas, that's hilarious.
The lol. Number 5's brilliant.
Can't wait to hear him, mate. Sounds amazing.
Yes, that is my topic for you today. But may I ask, what do you have us... I might as well do the same as you.
It's rubbing off on you.
What do you have us today, episode 92, you think?
Well, Jordan, today I have a terrifying poltergeist story for you.
Oh, I quite like poltergeist stories.
Oh, I know you do. It is the story of the South Shields poltergeist, one of the most famous ghost stories from our home here in the UK. So, Jordan, join me as we hear some of the madness that took over a quiet family home in South Shields in just 2006.
Please do. That's pretty recent.
It is. So recent, I'm scared. So let's go.
Please.
So our story today begins with a couple, Mark and Marie, and their 3-year-old son, Robert, whose names have been changed to protect their anonymity. They lived a quiet life in an unassuming home in South Shields, a town in the northeast of England. The house itself was totally normal, not a creepy Victorian mansion with dusty chandeliers, no weird hidden garage sale boxes begging to be opened, just a regular family home. Nothing could go wrong in such a pleasant setting, right, Jordan?
Definitely not.
Wrong! So wrong! In fact, when people were asked if they'd like to either say nothing could go wrong in such a pleasant setting or cheat on their spouse, they said they'd rather cheat, because saying nothing could go wrong in such a pleasant setting is so wrong, Jordan!
Is it? Oh, was that your excuse?
Yeah. What of it?
Then your wife started taking it out on the TV.
On the TV remotes, broke them.
No, she said TV.
She wasn't even in the living room when it happened. She brought the controls to bed with her and pummeled them. The remotes were like, "Where are we going? We're off for a little trip. Hey, what's that belt for? Hey, what are you doing? Ah!"
Why on earth is she Mickey Mouse?
No, the controls are Mickey Mouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the remote speaking, Jordan.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got excited.
Calm down.
Sorry.
That's all I can say. So, one summer night in 2006, their peace was shattered. Mark and Marie were rudely awakened when their son's bed violently began shaking in his bedroom. Initially, they figured the kid must be having one hell of a wild dream, but no, it was shaking.
Sorry.
What?
I feel like I can't say it.
Yes, Jordan, bear in mind the child is 3 in this story.
Forget that it was a child. Imagine it was someone else.
Okay, right, go on.
I just replace wild for wet.
Let me have a little read through.
The son's bed violently began shaking in his bedroom. Initially, they figured the kid was having one hell of a wet dream.
Fucking hell. Disgusting. I was gonna, I'd forgotten what I'd said, so I was gonna hopefully allow the people to have just been like, "Oh well, I'll just let that joke brush past because it sounds disgusting." But you had to read it to us.
I did.
Verbatim.
It was shaking and soon things escalated.
Thank you, yeah, that is what I was gonna say before I was rudely interrupted.
Apologies.
It's fine. So from here, toys began moving on their own, chairs were tipped over, doors slammed for no reason, all typical poltergeist activity we may hear about. And sure, it might seem normal to have a toy car zipping around the floor of a child's bedroom, but what, Jordan, if that child can't operate said remote because he's 3? And what's more, what if that car doesn't even have batteries in it, Jordan?
That was also my thought with your wife and the TV remote situation.
No, it did have batteries because I have to keep picking them up and replacing them when they get flung around by our child, which is probably the reason they're broken in the first place.
Well, they might have batteries in them, but it doesn't mean to say that there's charge in that.
No, our Sky remotes are very clever, and when we have Sky TV on, if the batteries are low, the TV will tell us.
What if you don't have Sky TV on?
Well, that's all we have.
Don't you just like to stare at static?
To be honest, mate, the only thing I fucking stare at is my computer screen.
I think that's the better of the two.
Yeah, considering what I watch. I come home from work, I open my laptop, I do some research or editing, I go to bed. I wake up, I take my children to school, I come home, I do some editing or research, and repeat.
That's fantastic. But also, Ian, did you know that TVs can have a VPN on them as well?
Can they?
Yeah.
It gives me ideas. Fucking 65-inch 4K cat videos.
Oh, I was getting impressed then. Okay, right, I see.
Yeah, no, sorry. That's the opposite end of the spectrum, mate. Complete other way. So from here, things took a sinister yet possibly slightly funny turn when their son's toys became the poltergeist weapon of choice. And I say possibly slightly funny because what do most kids' toys consist of? Stuffed animals. So you'd be wandering your house thinking it's kind of like a lottery. You could get a rocking horse lobbed at the head, or it could be a stuffed Bluey toy. It is a gamble.
Wow, okay. What would be the worst thing that you'd think you could have lobbed at you?
Used butt plug.
I mean, is that really the worst thing?
It's just the worst thing because it's the hardest thing. If it happens unexpectedly, how the hell am I supposed to get my mouth open and ready to catch it?
It could be worse. You could have been bent over tying your shoe.
I just want to go on record saying that this is aside from the child's toys. Just in general, the worst thing to have lobbed at your head would be the aforementioned.
It's true. Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
We need to stop. We need to
Just generally.
Yeah. We almost got to episode 100. We had a good run, hey?
Apologies.
So that aside, from here, it became much more of a horrific situation, and one day they found their son's toy bunny sitting atop the stairs with a large kitchen knife balanced on its lap, aimed right at the family members below.
God.
Imagine how scary that'd be. Like, you just come home from shopping, you're like, oh yeah, I was going to put this loaf of bread in the freezer because we've already got one. Oh my God, what is that? And there's a bunny sat at the top of your stairs with a fucking butcher's knife just sat on its lap. What would you do?
See, that's worse than a butt plug.
Yeah, but that, there's two different categories there. One's being lobbed at you and one's sat on a bunny. So, I mean, seeing a used butt plug sat on a bunny, I probably wouldn't care. Having a knife lobbed at my head, I would care.
Yes, I suppose.
And vice versa.
But how do you know it won't be?
I guess that's probably what scared them, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fair fear to have.
Oh my God, Mr. Hoppington's got a knife. What if he can throw it?
Oh dear, Bugsy's been a bastard again.
Bugsy, stop being a dick. Put the knife back in the knife room. Get to bed.
He only wants to be a sous chef.
Yeah. What they failed to notice, because they were so scared upon seeing the knife, was he had a CV in his other hand was saying, I really want to be a chef, please.
Problem is, it was written in blood.
Oh, what else is a bunny supposed to write in, Can't reach the shelf to get a pen. He was just being creative.
I mean, I suppose the plus side is he can chop his own carrots.
You don't have to feed it.
Clever.
But this, Jordan, was just the warm-up act. Soon, Mark and Marie started receiving creepy text messages from their now seemingly tech-savvy poltergeist, getting messages sent to their phone saying things like, "You're dead."
Lol.
Lol. BRB. XOXO.
Ruffle.
Wow, really showing our age, aren't we?
Yes.
One night, the couple even woke up to find the words "Go Die" scrawled in crayon across their living room wall, which, Jordan, is something that I can relate to because generally that is what my wife likes to write at the top of my to-do list every morning.
Nice, brilliant. This ghost, though, this poltergeist...
Are we just going to move past that, are we? My wife hates me. You could relate. Okay, moving on.
Heard it all before, pal. Don't you think these ghosts and poltergeists need grammar lessons? Because go die just isn't really a sentence.
Yeah, it is. It's like saying go and die.
Yeah.
Go away and die.
That would be correct.
Or maybe they don't have space. Maybe they're new to writing.
How big were they writing?
knows. Maybe it's a small wall. Maybe they just wrote it on like a little alcove or something, or like the windowsill or something like that.
On top of the nail head or something.
Yeah, like, I need to write it somewhere where I know they're going to see it. It's only a small surface, but it'll do. I'll write it here. Go die.
All right, fair enough. You've answered that.
Thank you. So they were understandably like, I'm pretty bored of this, and they called in the backup. Paranormal investigators Mike Hallowell and Darren Ritson, local paranormal investigators and co-authors of the South Shields Poltergeist, One Family's Fight Against an Invisible Intruder, the book which came from this very encounter. Both were seasoned investigators, and initially they took the scientific approach, thinking the events might just be caused by a trick of the mind, or mass hysteria, or even sleep deprivation. But they quickly realised that what was happening was very real indeed. They witnessed furniture being overturned, objects flying through the air, and, most telling, unexplained temperature drops. And one of them even claimed to have been physically assaulted by the entity, reporting that he felt a powerful grip wrap around his arm.
It was the spirit of a boa constrictor.
That's why all these messages have no grammar, because to say that they're writing anything at all is quite astounding.
Well, it's like that old thing of infinity, isn't it? You can have apes writing up the works of Shakespeare word for word.
Yeah, 100 monkeys and 100 typewriters.
Yeah, exactly. It's possible.
Yeah.
Very improbable, but it's possible.
Nothing is impossible, Jordan, in the world of mathematics. So I think it's probably safe to say that we're definitely correct in our assumptions that it is a ghost of a snake.
Well, blow me down.
Just blow me. They went on to witness a heavy chest of drawers move by itself, an event that was witnessed by everyone in the room. After months of investigation, Hallowell and Ritson concluded that this was one of the most violent and complex cases of poltergeist activity they'd ever encountered. And I just want to know, how many had they encountered prior? Because if this was the first one, then that's not a very hard record to break.
That is a very good point. Potentially they had lots of snakes.
What, just as pets?
Maybe they owned a zoo.
Possibly. Maybe my phone autocorrected zookeeper to paranormal investigator.
It's an easy mistake to make.
Happens to me all the time. A particular teddy bear, which came to be known as the menacing Teddy, became the focal point of this paranormal shit show. It seemed to be alive. It moved around the house, appearing in random places like it was out for a delightful stroll. Sometimes they'd find it in the middle of a room, other times on a chair, and occasionally just sitting there, almost like it was silently watching and judging. One of the most eerie moments involving the bear was when it was sitting at the foot of their son's bed, and when they removed it, the bear would inexplicably reappear, sitting in the exact same spot. But the peak of the activity was yet to come though, and would be enough to turn even the most level-headed skeptic into a scared little believer, when one night Marie was pinned down to her bed by an invisible force, leaving her with bruises and scratches. She went on to say that it held her down so tightly that she wasn't even able to move or even scream, until suddenly it released her, leaving her, understandably, terrified and confused.
Wow, okay. That sounds like succubus or something, or...
Well, I mean, there was no sexual activity that went on, so
okay.
I think that is the sort of MO of a succubus, or an incubus in this sense, but I think it just sounds like, malevolent demon shit, just being and, pinning you to your bed for no reason. Essentially, should it fall under my thought process of it all, it would just be eliciting fear and just being like, delicious.
Oh, so yeah, feeding off that fear.
Getting a good old snack.
So implying then, again, with your theory or thoughts on that,
Yeah.
that is what she's most afraid of, so therefore it manifests as that.
See, I would say, generally, in the majority of the world, people are just scared of paranormal activity in general. Like my wife won't watch any horror film. She hates ghosts. She's not bothered about aliens, but people are generally just scared of the paranormal at large.
Yeah.
So this demon just doing little shit like this, like around the house, is going to be scary for the majority of people. So if it was just, say, taking its potluck, or just like, I'll go with that family, it wouldn't necessarily have to come to them as something specific.
Oh, okay. However, so say this lady who experienced this was just one of the few people that brushed it off and was like, oh, fuck off, you fucking moron. Then it'd either form as something else, or would it move on?
I guess I would think that it would probably just move on or just die down, because, as we've spoken about before, things generally have a way of coming to you in different areas. So, like, if you're in the middle of nowhere down a lonely road, then it could be a UFO. Or if you're in the woods, it could be a dogman or a Bigfoot.
Right.
But if you're in your home, then it's probably going to be something more like a poltergeist, unless you do have a direct fear of something specific, like I do with aliens, in which case it might be that.
Right, okay. But how does it know what you're most fearful of?
Maybe it watches you. Maybe it vets you for a bit. There could be a demon behind me right now going, right, yeah, great, scared of aliens. Scribble that down. We'll fucking get him tonight. So I couldn't tell you, to be honest. It might just know. I mean, it is the paranormal. So who's to say?
Or it's a load of crap.
Another strong contending point. Yeah, it could just be a load of shit.
And none of it matters.
But I am not going to be one of these people, because there are two types of people in the world. There are the people who are open-minded and open to the possibility of these things happening, or there are cynical fuckers who just go, and that works in both worlds. There are people like, no, the paranormal is definitely real, and that is the only thing that goes on in the darkness. And there are other people who go, no, it's all a load of bullshit. It's all just science. It's all a load of rubbish. You're all idiots. But then there are people in the middle who are open-minded and like to think that they can explore these fantastic worlds that possibly might exist outside of our vision of what is right in front of us.
Very nicely put, Ian.
In other words, I'm great, you're all shit.
Not so nicely put, Ian.
That's the shorthand. That's the short version.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think it's nice to be, at least if nothing else, an open-minded skeptic, because then you don't necessarily believe everything that you hear.
Exactly.
But you take on as many facts as you can, and then, I guess, skew your belief to what is the most recent fact or science that you can get your hands on, I suppose.
Exactly. I mean, science is ever evolving. I mean, like we've spoken about before, if 5 years ago somebody had come up to you and gone, I saw a UFO and it was in the sky, floating around, it was the classic disc shape, you'd probably go, okay, yeah, cool, that was probably a plane or something glinting off the sun or whatever. But now the government has come out and gone, yeah, we've got crashed UFOs, by the way. And everyone's like, oh, UAPs, UFOs, they're real? Oh, okay. So now all those people now have a little bit of legitimacy about them.
True.
So you're not going to call them crazy. So things are ever evolving. So to just write something off, I think is stupid in my eyes. Like, say, for example, back in the Middle Ages, when someone said, oh, by the way, leeches get rid of f***ing scabies, and people go, great, that's clearly science. That evolved, and we evolved our thinking. So in another 100 years, who's to say we won't be working side by ghosts?
Very true, yeah. Didn't you once do a bit on strange remedies for things?
I did, yeah. I think it was around episode 68, I think it was, actually, because it was before the weird sex deaths.
Wow.
Which was episode 69, and that was from the same book.
Really? Oh, okay, of course, yeah.
So that is how I recall that.
I love it. Good memory.
Thank you very much. But anyway, back to the story, because the attacks didn't stop there. It escalated further when the family found handwritten notes scattered around the house saying things like, just go, and die now. The handwriting wasn't Mark's, it wasn't Marie's, and no one could explain it.
But the grammar had improved.
It got a little better. It listened to you, it took your advice on board, and it went to school. It did a little online course, didn't do most of the work, it, set it to play, went and got a Mackey's, came back and just got a diploma at the end, but it took a little bit on board, which was good.
Improvement.
So after months of relentless torment, weirdly, the activity subsided as quickly as it had started. There's no clear reason why it stopped. Maybe the entity just got bored. Maybe it found another poor family to terrorise, or maybe the family just got so used to it they didn't even realise it was happening anymore. But the paranormal investigators involved believed that the presence, whatever it was, had felt that it had sufficiently terrified the family and just decided to move on.
Wow, okay. And that's it?
That is the end of the story.
So no follow-up on this family?
It f***ed off like a hitchhiker in the wind, thumbing down the highway.
So it's kind of what we were saying then.
Yeah, it just got a little bored. It's like, I'm sick of this. The amount of butt plugs I see in this house is disgusting. I'm moving. I'm out of here.
Interesting story, though. I must admit, I really do enjoy stories of poltergeists and ghostly things.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that ghosts are a little bit like, you're not massively keen, but I must admit, I enjoy them.
The reason that I'm not so overly fussed and keen on ghost stories is, it's not my forte. I love aliens. But generally, it's hard to find a good ghost story, because the ghost story is, I was in my room and then a ghostly figure walked across the wall. The end. And nothing happens. But, if one, has like a curse attached to it, something that can escalate and be an interesting story, or a poltergeist, in this case, then I enjoy those kind of stories because things happen. It's not just, I heard a noise downstairs, the end.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a short episode, wouldn't it?
It would. And being a paranormal enthusiast, those are the stories that I was listening to when I was fucking in the womb, I've escalated beyond that point. I need the fucking weirdness, mate. I need the strange stories.
Well, I appreciate you doing all the digging and providing them for us.
No worries at all, mate. It's what I am here for. My children don't get looking at me anymore. I haven't talked to my wife in months.
No, she's still blaming the TV.
Yeah, she's just rocking in front of it like, why won't you work? And all I do there is sit and research paranormal stories to tell you.
There's worse ways to live?
If there is, I haven't found it. But anyway, Jordan, I want to hear some more Darwin Awards.
Okay, well, you're in luck, because I have some more for you.
Wait.
So anyone that isn't maybe familiar with the term Darwin Awards, it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek metaphorical award, basically given to people that have contributed the most to evolution by removing themselves from the future gene pool.
Like good sports.
Yeah. Basically, the concept is that people kill or possibly injure themselves really badly to the point where reproduction is no longer possible.
Oh, okay. So have you got a story when someone hasn't died, they've just accidentally chopped the nuts off or something?
No, but that is the definition.
Okay, right then. I was got a little excited then.
Sorry. I don't have that story of the severed bollock.
Future content idea there for you, Jordan.
Very true, yeah. Darwin Awards / not deaths.
10 people have chopped their balls off.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yes.
So, essentially ensuring that their stupid genes are not spread, they ultimately help humanity and thus receive the Darwin Award. So allow us to dive headfirst into a collection of 10 examples of how fate can sometimes have a twisted sense of humour. So are you ready, Iain, for some Darwin Awardees?
1 second, mate. Just let me rearrange my balls. Oh, I'm good to go.
Nice. You weren't number one then.
Yes.
But at number 1, we have an Australian kung fu master who told his class in 1996 that they were good enough to, and I quote, take on lions.
Oh, what? No, he didn't.
This encouragement was not supposed to be taken literally.
Oh, okay, right, thank God. I thought he was going to fucking take him to the zoo, and when the security guard wasn't looking, he's like, right, go, go, go. Show them lions who's boss.
You say that, Ian. But one student took his words to heart and indeed headed to the local zoo.
Oh, fucking hell.
Many shocked zoo visitors reported seeing an ensuing fight, but you can guess what happened next.
Yeah, he kicked its ass, right?
No, yeah, obviously they kissed and made up, got married and lived happily ever after.
Yeah, he had it in a headlock. It's like, my arm is your new main, bitch.
Yeah, it was thinking that it was also a boa constrictor. Tight vice-like grips.
It was him. He was the poltergeist. After he died in that lion pen, he fucking teleported over to England and became a poltergeist.
Yeah. Brilliant. I really hope, though, that kung fu master stopped using potential literal...
I don't know, mate. It's a good way to weed out the idiots in it, really.
I suppose.
You know, if someone takes that literal, then, you know, it's essentially like putting people up for a Darwin Award. You say a sentence at people and the stupid will weed themselves out.
So true, yeah. I mean, that's a little bit...
Mean.
Morbid.
Cruel, yeah. Horrible.
Yes.
Thing to say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not very nice. But yes, you're not wrong.
Good to know. It's been so long since I've heard that.
Number 2. Francis Bacon was an influential statesman, philosopher, writer and scientist in the 16th century. He died while stuffing snow into a chicken.
What?
I'll explain.
Please.
So, he had been struck by the notion that snow, instead of salt, might be used to preserve meat. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, keep it cold. Yeah.
I get that. I mean, freezers obviously weren't a thing back then, so yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
He stood outside in the snow to test his theory and attempted to stuff the bird. The chicken didn't freeze, but Bacon did.
How?
I don't know. He'd obviously just stayed out there long enough and just died.
And who was around to confirm and not help him that the chicken didn't freeze, but he did? Like, so some guy taking notes at the side, like, yeah, chicken is still not frozen. Francis Bacon is dead.
I don't know. Maybe they just heard all the rest of the chickens going, bop, 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 and then they thought, oh, what they're doing out there, and then saw him.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so someone came after the fact.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, right.
And then thought, Francis, what you doing, you fucking idiot?
Oh, God, he's frozen to death. That chicken looks really warm, though.
That chicken's still clucking. It outlived Francis.
It's still alive today.
Yeah. Number 3. We have a geology scientist named James. He decided to get rid of a pesky wasp nest with the help of a trusty dirt devil vacuum cleaner.
Not a good idea.
Why, Ian?
Well, you know, you go and interfere with any kind of buzzing swords nests, then they're not going to be happy about it. One little hoover to a corner, they're all going to attack you.
Have you seen, actually? I mean, it's a little bit mean, but it's the way to essentially dispose of a wasp nest. Have you seen that?
No, I can imagine though.
Oh, go on. What would you think?
Eat it.
Yeah, go mouth first. Take bites off it.
Disgust it. I.e., put your willy in it, and then they're all like, ew!
Oh,
I'm not staying here, and they fly away.
oh, that's why it looks like that.
That's why that big hole's in the bottom.
Oh.
I'm being modest, it's a little hole.
But big in comparison.
Go on, tell me, how do you get rid of them?
So, a way to do it is you get a bowl that's bigger than the nest, you put gasoline in it,
Oh, fucking hell. Yep.
petrol, and then you put that over the nest, and like in 10 seconds, that's it.
What, so you just set it on fire?
No, the fumes will essentially get rid of the wasps, if you want to call it that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then you can use the bowl to slide the nest off its perch, and it will go in the bowl, and you can just get rid.
And then after that, you know, once it's all burnt away, you've got yourself some delicious little wasp snacks.
I mean, if you're so inclined, I wouldn't recommend it, but
Why not, mate?
because it's full of petrol.
Yeah, that's just all I hear when I hear petrol is go juice, you know, so
Okay.
fuel it's like nature's energy drink.
Okay, yeah, like nature's birthday candles.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got your birthday cake, you got your energy juice. You eat that in the morning, mate. You're good to go for a year.
Wow. Okay, but I do want to sleep on an evening.
Don't drink the waspy go juice then.
I wasn't. That was you.
I know. I said I'll do it. You don't have to.
Okay, that's all right then. Enjoy.
I will.
Alas, Iain, he used his trusty Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner.
I forgot about this
And
guy.
armed with the fearsome weapon, James attacked the wasp nest. He sucked up all those wasps, which buzzed angrily as they struggled in vain against the wind tunnel. The dust bag was soon alive with their buzzing. However, what James did next to get rid of the disgruntled living wasps was a moronic masterpiece.
What happened next, Jordan?
Well, Iain, he held the vacuum cleaner tube in one hand with a can of Raid, which I later found out was like basically a wasp insect repellent spray.
Oh, so he had the fucking bug spray. He could have just used that in the first place.
It's true.
He just unboxed his Hoover, didn't he? What an excuse to use it. It's like, well, the house is clean, so I may as well just use it on these wasps.
It's true, yeah. So he had the vacuum tube in one hand, the can of insect spray in the other, and he proceeded to spray the insecticide into the vacuum. Our smart young scientist failed to remember that aerosols are flammable and a vacuum cleaner motor generates heat.
Oh,
Need I say more?
kablooey.
A little bit like that. Imagine if the wasps were all right and then just finished him off with loads of stings.
Yeah. He's on the floor like half burnt. He's like, help wasps, call me an ambulance. I'm like, fuck you, mate.
Just make a nest on his chest. Number 4. Lava lamps are cool. You know, if you live in the Playboy Mansion around 1989.
Yeah.
Which is why a man bought one in Washington in 2004. After plugging it in, the man, known as Philip, took too long for it to get going and put it on the stove to speed up the process.
What a fucking idiot.
This got a lot more interesting when it exploded and embedded a shard of glass in Philip's chest.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, he ended up bleeding to death.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's another one off the gene pool.
Lava lamp, call me an ambulance.
Shame he'd killed that wasp nest before.
Yeah.
Could have used the help again. Number 5. This one is a little bit like a classic case of, hey, check this out, guys.
Okay.
A high-flying lawyer called Gary Hoy.
Oh, wait, I think I know this one. Can I tell you the story? Is this the one where he was in his office and he really, he wanted to show off that his windows were like smash-proof?
Yes!
Yeah.
So anyone that isn't familiar, so he loved telling his buddies that his windows in his Toronto office were bulletproof and unbreakable, as Iain said. One day, he decided to prove his theory by running into one at full pace. Fair enough. However, the shocked clients could only watch as Gary crashed through the supposed unbreakable windows and ended up on the pavement 24 floors below.
On his way down. Clients, call me an ambulance.
You just see a wasp nest on the side.
Quick thinking as he was going down. If I get enough of these wasps together, I should be able to get enough pulling force to help me glide down to stay splat.
Oh, he was hoping that he'd just catch them on the way down and it would cushion his fall.
Yeah. Help me, wasps. Create a mat.
Number 6. A lot of rampaging generals probably meet their deaths in this manner, but John Sedgwick has gone down in history for his famous last words, which turned out to taunt death somewhat unwisely. During the American Civil War, the Union Army general was killed when leading troops out to battle. Striding out into heavy fire, he's widely reported to have told his compatriots to stop flinching. Why are you dodging like this? They couldn't hit an elephant at this distance. However, this overconfidence killed him. A sniper promptly shot him dead with a bullet to the left side of the face.
What an idiot. Always a bad idea.
Why would you do it anyway?
Exactly, yeah. What, bullets are flying at you? Stop flinching, mate. Don't just assume they're not going to be able to hit anything. They're just as trained as you are. Did you see the Civil War? In fact, they were trained by the same fucking army.
What he failed to see, however, was just as he was saying that, they shot down all those wasp nests nearby with great accuracy.
Oh, they were just about to help him.
Number 7. A guy called Jerome Moody was a guest at a party for lifeguards celebrating their first drowning-free swimming season.
Way.
Which, First of all, that doesn't feel like something you should have a victory about. That should just be a thing.
Yeah, it should be a meeting saying, good job this year, let's continue this trend.
Well, yeah, I mean, that should just go without saying, shouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
It should almost be like you should have a meeting if that didn't happen.
Yes, yeah, I think, yeah.
Not like, hey, no one died. Anyway, they were having this drowning-free swimming season celebration, and his body was later found at the bottom of the pool after the party ended. The cause of death, drowning.
Oh, really? What?
I mean, something else could have happened. I mean, he could have, I guess, I don't know.
Been stung to death by wasps prior to falling into the pool.
Tried to go in the pool to hide from them. Waterfall. Badumch. Number 8. A Russian woman, and I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. Actually, f*** it, I will.
Whoa, quick turnaround.
Called Fagiliu Makhamatikayov.
Spot on.
I think that is quite literally what it is.
Stop being astounded by your own reading skills.
In fact, Iain, would you have a go? I've just sent it to you.
Oh, mate, I'm so excited.
I'd love to hear your take on it. So, a Russian woman called...
Fagiliu Mukhametyanov.
Perfect.
Mukhametyanov.
Lovely. I'll insert that in.
Please don't.
She was wrongly declared dead by doctors. But when mourners gathered to pay their last respects at her funeral, she suddenly woke up and was so shocked to find herself in a coffin that she suffered a fatal heart attack and died.
It's like her body went, oh, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Oh well, may as well just make use of it.
Lol. Number 9. This is the story of the surgery with a 300% mortality rate.
Oh, I know this one as well.
Are you familiar?
I am indeed.
So this is of the surgeon Robert Liston of the 1800s. Liston was attempting to amputate a leg. Then, trying to show off how quickly it could be done, accidentally sliced through his assistant's fingers and sliced the coat off a spectator. The patient and assistant both died from infection, and the spectator died from shock, thinking they'd been stabbed.
Like, if you're a surgeon, right, there's really no reason to show how fast you can do something, because being a surgeon is quite a skill. So just say, like, yeah, I'm a fucking well-skilled surgeon, and I also can do it. I think his record was like 3 seconds or something like that.
Wow, okay, like...
Yeah, like, there's no point, mate. People just, like, you could have probably done that a little bit better. You know? Yeah. That's actually less impressive than had you done, a good job.
Absolutely. It is that classic slow and steady wins the race, isn't it?
Precisely.
I'd rather have a surgeon take the time and be careful, rather than do it at lightning speed and kill me.
You'd be a little bit fucking scared, wouldn't you, if you were like laying on the operating table and you're counting down from 10, you get to 9, and just as you're about to go out, you hear the surgeon go, watch how fast I can take out this brain tumour.
Oh shit, I took the wrong bit out.
I guess you wouldn't care when you woke up, would you? You'd just be a bit of a drooling mess.
Oh, God. Imagine, though, this Robert Liston continued to perform these surgeries.
But just on his way out of the surgery room, just amputating legs as he went.
Can you imagine, though? You're on the operating table. You know, you're fearful anyway. You end up going to sleep, and just as you're about to fall off, they're like, right, your surgeon Robert Liston is on his way. What? And then that's it.
Or just as you're about to drift off, you're like, done. Oh. Nice one.
Yeah, I felt it, though.
Yeah.
And finally, Iain, at number 10, we have the Greek philosopher Chrysippus in 220 AD. This philosopher liked to party, and he partied hard, well into old age.
Nice.
When he was around 73 years old, which for that time, that's magnificent.
It's a good age, yeah.
So he got drunk at a party on undiluted wine.
Ooh, bad idea.
Now, I didn't understand what this meant, but apparently it was a regular thing for Greeks in that era that they mixed wine with water.
I guess it'd probably be a lot more potent, so it'd just be like...
Oh, maybe, yeah.
It'd be like diluting orange squash, for example.
Is that what they were doing? A bit of Robinson's?
Exactly, yeah. Like that one drop. Flavours a full pint.
He was enjoying his undiluted wine, and then he saw a donkey eating a fig. Now, the fig was fermented, so theoretically, he was thinking that enough of those would make the donkey drunk. So, in his inebriated state, this sight struck him as hilarious, and he went into spasms of uncontrollable fits of laughter, crying out, "Now give the donkey a drink of pure wine to wash down the figs," until he fell over and he died.
Wow. So he laughed himself to death.
He literally laughed himself to death.
Possibly the shittest situation ever. Not funny at all. Watch it. Hang on. Give that donkey a drink of wine to wash down the fig. I didn't even laugh at all, mate.
Can you imagine? They are his last words.
Just exactly like that.
I imagine it was said with more fits of laughter in between, but I wasn't there, so I don't know. So, yeah, there you have it. List of 10 Darwin Awards for you.
Fantastic. I love these kinds of segments, Jordan. They're fantastic, and I hope there are many more to come. Have you got any more in the pipeline?
Yeah, the next 5 episodes will be Darwin Awards part 2 through 7.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for that. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I'm pleased you did.
So does that about bring us round to the end of today's episode, Jordan?
I think it does, Mr. Iain.
Nice. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Tell a friend that they are not allowed to go near hoovers or fuel anymore because you like wasps and you don't want to endanger them or turn them into any kind of tasty snack. And while you're doing it, just have Two Guys What's Up playing on in the background so they can be like, okay, I won't do that. What's that you're listening to? A cool podcast?
That is exactly how it will go. And if you would like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the bio of this episode, which you can click on and be jetted off to every link you will ever need for all your Two Guys What's Up essentials. Want to get your own Two Guys What's Up t-shirt? Click the link.
Want to find out some more ways that people have died in ridiculous manners? Click that link. You know, I think that's actually the only accurate thing that we've ever said in these outros, bar the t-shirt, that you can get from clicking the link.
Want to find out more reasons why you should click the link? Well, click the link.
And when you click that link, it will take you to Patreon, where you will find all of your Two Guys What's Up extras, including pin badges, shout-outs, t-shirts, and if you really can't get enough of our fantastic tales and just buzzy voices, well then now you can get more, because we now release bonus episodes which come out on the last Friday of every single goddamn month. There is currently 15 up there, sitting, just waiting for your ears to go and have a little wibbly wobble around that audio extra goodness. And all that is available right now, starting with the bonus episodes, from just £3 a month.
Absolute bargain. So if you want to help support the show and get some cool stuff while you do so, head over to patreon.com/Two Guys What's Up to check out all the goodies over there. The link will be down below for your leisure.
But if you can't do that, but you still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in your podcast app of choice would be the best, freest, and most helpful way for you to do that for us, and we would be forever grateful.
Forever so much.
But on that
Indeed.
note, thanks for listening. Y'all have an amazing week, and we will see you next Monday. Bye. Yeah, it just got a little board. It's like, you know, I'm sick of this. The amount of butt plugs I see in this house is disgusting. I'm moving. I'm out of here.
This unsanitary place.
They don't even wash them. They just slip them out and stick them on the nightstand next to the phones.
I had to move the teddy out of the way because it was just staring at it.
A poor teddy. I just had to sit there. No wonder it's got a fucking knife. Sits there all night just staring at used butt plugs.
What a life.
What a fucking life, that poor bunny. All it wants to do is be a chef.
Interesting story that I do.